Hi dear students, lesson 15, International Trade, devoted for the second course of economics, deals with the following issues. They are discussion, export sales and payment, scan reading, its special techniques of learning and reading, firstly, then vocabulary to learn publication, phrases, and home tasks to do at home. So the main part of the lesson to start with, we need to brainstorm the following questions. You can use the internet version because you have access to the net, so you can search out the question with the answer. How can selling your product in other countries be more difficult than at home? So your answers. Then second one, list 4 aspects of export sales where there may not be level playing field. Again, I wait for your response. So turning to the main part, scan reading, specific techniques of scanning. Read the article opposite from the Trade magazine, which for expert mistakes Dick and Eisenhart games made. So the given pinball wizard learns from mistakes. You will read yourself and then read the article again, the word in gray explain, which 8 lesson does Vincent say experts have to learn, and you need to find the answer from this text. It is continuation part of this wizard game. So now it is time to listen some exercises. In listening this exercise, you need to listen to an interview with James Sullivan, a sales manager with Nailing and Hines, an American credit agency, and answer these questions. Questions number 6, total questions are, and you will listen and try to find answer for this question.
Daryl Vincenti of Eisenhart Games recommends using a credit agency like yours. But can you tell us first what exactly credit agencies do?
Well, basically, we offer a range of services in 2 main areas, information and insurance. Some of our clients are interested in information to help them manage credit risk, and others come to us for insurance. But many companies, like Eisenhart, need both information and insurance.
What sort of information can you provide?
We have details of over 50 million businesses in countries all over the world. So, for example, we can help Daryl by telling him how businesses in countries in the Middle East are doing financially. We can tell him if his prospective customers pay, and how quickly they pay. And in particular, we can warn him if one of his customers gets into financial difficulty.
And you give each company a rating which indicates how reliable they are.
Yes, companies and also countries are given a rating. This gives us a quick guide to how safely you can do business with a particular company or in a particular country. Actually, there's much more than just the rating. Clients, like Daryl, receive detailed credit reports, which help them decide if and how to work with different companies.
I see. Now, what about credit insurance? Is that something new?
Well, it's relatively new over here in the States, but not in Europe. European companies have been using it for a long time. 70% of European companies use credit insurance, whereas in the States, the figure is below 5%.
Why is that?
Essentially because European firms have to export, because their internal markets are too small. Until now, the majority of American firms have done most of their business in America, so they didn't need credit insurance unless the customer was very risky. Nowadays, companies like Eisenhart need to export, so they're discovering the advantages of credit insurance. For example, it means that in Saudi Arabia, Daryl can trade on open account, with no need for letters of credit, which take a lot of time and are relatively expensive.
I see. Talking of expense, what does credit insurance cost?
Well, of course, it depends on the contract. The more risk the insurer takes on, the higher the premium will be. But on average, I would say, for international credit insurance, between 1/4 and 1% of sales.
So after listening for detail, we have next exercise, reading for detail. Read is extract from the guide to methods of payment in international trade. The methods in order from the safest one to the riskiest four from the expert's point of view. So you now heard expert's point of view. Now your turn to put these places: open account, advance payment, bills for collection, letters of credit. You need to number these by your opinion. Then, vocabulary part of our lesson. Your task is collocation. Choose one keyword from the box to complete each group of word noun collocations. Words are given in the box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and you need to match this collocation with a word in the table. Table illustrate includes 6 set of words, and you need to decide whether the buyer or seller carried out the action above. Then the vocabulary part deals with the phrasal verbs as well. Second exercise of this vocabulary part, put the words in these guidelines for exporters in the correct order. Each sentence contains a phrasal verb, and your task is to put the words in the guideline. Number 3, match each definition to the correct phrasal verb in exercise 2. So exercise 2 and 3 interconnected, so your task is matching exercise 2 with this 3. So turning to the next part of the lesson, it is listening part. Now we'll listen 5 conversations about expert issues. Use vocabulary form 1 and 2 to say what is happening in each. Now you will listen this exercise 4.
Bruno, have you seen this letter from those people in Slovakia?
No. What do they want?
Well, they say they're ready to place a large order now if they can pay next year.
Well, you'd better do some research on the company, make sure they can pay, but be discreet. We don't want to upset them.
Track 18. 2. I'm still worried about sending these parts by sea. They're quite fragile, you know.
Well, don't worry. We're meeting the insurance people tomorrow. If anything goes wrong, we'll be covered.
But the insurance premium will be expensive, won't it?
Probably. But we have to do it anyway. It's one of the conditions in the contract. No insurance, no deal.
Track 19. 3.
Francesca, have we received a payment from Kawasaki?
No, and I've already sent 2 reminders.
2? Listen, could you give them a call? If we're not careful, they'll be late every month, and I don't want to have the same problems we had last year.
Track 20. 4.
So could you send the payment as soon as possible, Mr. Takahashi?
Well, it's just that there seems to be a small problem with your invoice. It's more expensive than we expected.
I'm sorry, Mr. Takahashi, but the invoice is for exactly the same amount as our quotation, which you accepted.
Ah, yes. Well, exceptionally, as we are regular customers, could you perhaps wait 2 or 3 weeks? We just have a small cash flow problem at the moment. I'm sure you understand, Miss Trevi. It's nothing to worry about.
Track 21. 5.
Well, we'll accept your terms, providing you deliver direct to our factory.
Our customers normally collect the goods from the port of entry.
But you said yourself these parts are fragile, so surely it would be better for the same forwarder to deliver all the way to the door. That way there's less risk of damage.
Well, you have a point there, I suppose.
And this will be a regular order, so it means a lot of business for the forwarder. I'm sure you can negotiate good terms with them.
Yes, you're right. Okay then, it's a deal.
So, after listening exercise, we come to vocabulary revision as well. Exercise 5, combine the noun on the left with those on the right to make as many 2-word collocations as possible. Your task is matching this noun with their boxes. proper process. Exercise 6 requires to use collocation form 5 to complete these sentences. Get filling task it is. Then it is home task 1. Grammar task. You need to write preposition. For the first exercise, you should use each preposition once to complete this shadow. They are during, within, at, from, in, until, by, for, after, and on. Only thing is you should use them only once. Then home task 2, complete the story with the appropriate preposition. Sometimes no preposition is needed as well. So it means you need to be very accurate whether to use or not the preposition. Home task 3. In these guidelines for exporters, the noun is bold or in the wrong sentence. Find the correct noun for each statement. So you should find correct answer and noun form from these sentences. And last one, home task 4, dependent prepositions. You need to delete the verb in each group that does not have the same dependent preposition as the other 3 and write in the preposition if any. Sample is given. First one, agree, ask, consent, refer. They come with the preposition to. And what is not proper preposition word here is ask. The same way you should complete this task. Thank you for your attention.